What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Cool. Got a little bit of a delay going on, but that's all right. We're going to work it out. Welcome to the JODY HALO Show. That's what we're doing here. Appreciate you guys joining in. I'm going to turn up my earpiece there. Let me tell you a little bit about what we got going on tonight. First of all, welcome to the show. We located out of here in Tallahassee, and this week we're going to talk about my band, Naked Animals. Where is it over there? I'm pointing at it, aren't I? Am I pointing down at it? Anyway, you get the point. We're also going to be talking about a great band from the past here in Tallahassee, and who actually was my first rock star from Tallahassee that I ever met. So it's probably not who you're thinking it is, but it could be. We'll see. Really awesome band we're going to bring up. Also, we're going to do a little bit into the gear land. I like to delve into that a bit. So we're going to, tonight, we're going to bring out the old 1970s Les Paul Custom. And we're going to talk about what it's going to take to make Gibson great again. Let's see what I did there. So anyway, I hope this all is a fun little distraction for you guys. We're going to talk a lot about the Tallahassee music scene, bands in it. We're also going to talk about the regional scene and how that affects certain aspects. I'm more of a rock authority here. That's my background for live bands that I've worked with throughout the years. So it's going to be a little bit about what the show is focused around, but we're going to step off into some country. We're going to step off into some Nashville Americana. We're going to step off into some different genres. And we're also going to bring back, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but I was the host of a television show for a few years in Murray, Kentucky. Shout out to with Joey Skaggs and Brittany. We did a show called Breaking Underground for several years, and I'm going to kind of move that forward a little bit with their blessing, and maybe I can get them involved again. But we're going to do an emerging artist each week on the show, and we'll come from different locations, and we'll get into all that. Regardless, we're going to start off tonight. Last year, my band, the Naked Animals, we got to finish our debut music video, and it was awesome. We had a great director that came in, V, Nagayan, shot everything at 926 with Carl. They were awesome and helping us get everything going. So Naked Animals, pretty much in a nutshell here. I got some notes. We're band from Tallahassee. If you haven't seen us before, I urge you to check us out. We have showgirls. We've got chains. We've got pole routines. We've got fire musicians, minus myself. I can hold it down, but you know. What else we got? We got all kinds of stuff. We got a lot of dynamics. We've been described as kind of active alternative rock, but I don't know. I don't know what we are really this day and age. Does it even matter? But this is our debut song called Bulletproof Chest, and this is the video.
While you crawling, filthy, sexy, dirty money, take it all and shake it for me.
All right. So that was our debut video. It's called Bulletproof Chest. And like I said, we had a lot of fun. Woo-oo. Now I see why they have, an audio engineer. I used to know a guy. Anyway, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't mind. That'll help us out greatly. But it's Naked Animals. And I was going to segue that into the reason that I am in Tallahassee is because I moved down here originally there was a job opportunity. But before I came here, there was a band that I got turned onto that I really loved. I was with my band at the time on the road, Halo Stereo, and we got the opportunity through this incredible venue in Columbus, Georgia, to actually go and open for this band, and they are called Socialburn. And I know you guys are probably fans. Everybody in Tallahassee knew who they were. We were just getting to know them at the time. But these guys were incredible. I mean, they were so good. And I knew that Creed came from here. That was the whole, thing for a while. They're the big guys that came here. But these guys don't get as much love, and they should, because they had some incredible music that came out. Neil Allday is a rock star. His vocals are incredible. So always give them a chance. I think he's still got, if I'm not mistaken, he still plays a little bit. Not maybe not as much touring. I know that he had the Neil Allday and the Further Down South All Stars at one point. So you should definitely check them out on their Facebook and everything. But we had a lot of fun with these guys, and we were a new band at the time. That's our funny photos of us when we were. I haven't aged that much. I think Halo Stereo, but these guys had, their hit at the time was Down. We actually were catching them on this record that you're seeing there. I believe, I can't remember the title of the album, but The Beauty of Letting Go. I pulled that one out of nowhere. Great album, and it was very well written, and so really changed our attitudes towards like you never knew what kind of great artists you're going to meet out there, and he killed it live. And the guy gave it all out there. So I wanted to pay a little homage to them tonight, and a little Soho Bar and Grill as well. I put a little something in there about Vicky and David. Those guys helped Halo Stereo and helped our careers out just tremendously. Vicky and David are friends of the arts, and that's hard to find in venue owners. And so give them a shout out. And they had their bartenders have the most personality. I mean, they would be over there like playing with us on stage, playing auto harps. It was fun and borderline insanity. That place really knew how to put on a show. So wanted to give them a little love, a little shout out, if you will. Be sure to check out Socialburn on social media. gearheads too. This little part of the show, we're gonna call it "Story Behind the Gear." I did one of these on YouTube previously for Gibson ES120T, which is kind of a rare guitar. But I decided today, because there's been a lot of hubbub about this, and this is like my prized possession. I gotta say, this is like the one I wanted to start off if we're gonna do the show with anything. I don't know if you can see. This is a Les Paul, right? But it's not just any Les Paul. It's a 1970s custom. That was my father's, and he passed it down to me as he passed away. But it was one of his prized possessions, and it was always like the guitar we talked about in the house. You know, it was like the one that's, wow. It's beautiful. It's a pearl white, and it's got like, it's, you know, made famous. The Kiss guys did the whole 3 pickup things. You know, Paul Stanley, and obviously, it sounds loud. This thing weighs a ton. It literally weighs a ton. So playing it on stage all night, it's not going to be your best friend, but it sounds really heavy and awesome. And so, homage to my dad, because on our very first guitar trip, he took me and my best friend at the time, Will McCracken. He took us to the Gibson Guitar Factory in Nashville, Tennessee. And we didn't have an invitation. We just kind of showed up. And like, there's people that are working their butts off there. And so they saw us. We're like 2 12-year-old kids. And they're like, well, I guess we'll let them in. I think my dad pretty much used this so he could get back there and check everything out, which was smart on his end. But we got a chance to get back behind the scenes. We got to go into the vault. They showed us guitars. Gibson rolled out the red carpet for 2 unknown, just regular old 12-year-old kids and my father. And I will be eternally grateful for that, because that is a cherished memory that I have. And I know a lot of people have talked about how they've gone downhill in the past, in the past few years. And they, filing bankruptcy and the wood issues with the guitars. But I believe that Gibson can be made great again.
Incorporating new technologies will not happen because I think something is cool or JC thinks that something is cool. We launched what we call the Gibson Lab. The Gibson Lab is all about testing innovation. It's also about manufacturing practices.
Gibson started using the Plek machines in the early 2000s. We first started out with 1 or 2 machines, and then we added more. Initially, only certain models above a certain price point had the Plek process. And then we added more machines to where now every single guitar that Gibson makes, whether it's at USA or Custom Shop or Montana, everything goes through the Plek process. So that just ensures we have the most accurate fretboard surface possible. After the final machining of the bodies, the guitars then enter the Plek room. The Plek room is the fret leveling and profiling operation. So guitars each have their own Plek program. It's a CNC machine that will level the frets and then give it the final profile, which is the round profile of the fret after it's been leveled. So each model has its own specific program on the Plek and its own specific fixtures. Guitars are loaded in those fixtures, then they go into pre-tensioning jigs that tension the neck to simulate string tension. They're then located in the Plek machine, and then the program is keyed in, then they run the machine, and it starts a scanning process. That scanning process scans the fret surface under each string path, and then it's a plunger affair, and every time it hits a fret, that plunger moves up and down, and it records digitally what that movement is. So after it completes that scan, it has a digital topographic map of that entire fretboard surface. Then it comes back one by one and machines each fret to its proper height and profile, which is incredible if you think about all that digital information stored. It might take 1/1000th off at the beginning of the fret, maybe 3/1000ths in the middle, maybe skip the last part, and every fret could be different. It takes it to the final height, the final profile, and lastly, it'll slot the fingerboard nut. So now that's guaranteed accurate and on center.
I am a pleck operator. I started out as a fret filer, where we used to level the frets by hand, and now we changed and went to the pleck machine, which I am highly grateful for that. Well, when we used to fret file, trying to do that by hand and doing so many guitars, your eyes may get tired, and your shoulders would definitely hurt from having to rake across the frets. But a pleck machine is more accurate because you're taking something, measuring this, and when your eyes get tired, the machine doesn't get tired like my eyes may get tired. So I definitely appreciate that. It helps in the quality. Plus the playability is probably far more better when you're talking about measuring something at the thousandths of an inch compared to me looking at it with my eyes. So.
If it says Gibson on the headstock, you know it's made entirely in the United States, it goes through the pleck process, and it's a true nitrocellulose finish.
Well, I think it feels good whenever you can be a part of something that is sustained so long, and knowing that I'm a part of and I'm building guitars. I'll give you a good example. When I went to Guitar Center, I was telling my son one time, hey, I made that guitar. So I think it feels good when you can say you are a part of something, and it's a good something. So Gibson having the name that it has, and I can go somewhere, hey, I'm the pleck operator, I pleck that guitar. I think it's always a great thing.
The first thing I want people to think about when they think about this new era of Gibson is the highest quality guitars that Gibson has ever made in the history of the company. And that is where everything starts. I want a look back to say they were onto something. They really borrowed from the history and took it forward to take the company into another dimension with what they're making, the quality of instruments they're making. And I think that if we get our fans and our artists to say that, that means success.
Shakes it in, and the bourbon bottles dry. All right, we got a little bit of merchandise and all here too. I hope you enjoyed the Gibson video there. I thought it was really interesting how they just start to finish on these guitars. It's an amazing process. But I also want to plug our Naked Animals merchandise at Dizzy Jam. Grab yourself the merch. That's how we are supporting this channel. Also, you can stream our music. If you want to sponsor the show, if you want to run advertisements on the show, since this is our debut episode, we're pretty easy to get in touch with. And by we, there is not a mouse in my pocket. It is me, myself, and I at this moment. But I got some people that are interested in working with us. So anyway, I want to go ahead and set up a little bit here. For also, yeah, you can stream any of these bands that are on here tonight. Halo, Stereo stuff, Naked Animals, you get the picture. But I wanted to talk about our emerging artists. So what we're going to do each week is we are going to highlight a new emerging artist. And so this week on the first one, we didn't really, I want to like just throw an artist out there. So but next week, we've already got our first artist that's coming in. And he is Mr. Colby Dean. He is absolutely awesome guy. I've been working with him. He is he's got a great attitude, sounds great, love his music. He's got some really fun stuff coming up. There he is. So you'll want to be on the lookout for him. He's going to come up and do a song with us. Even though social distancing, I think we're going to just have him do it remotely. So we'll probably, for the time being, have people do it remotely. But in the future, maybe we'll bring him out to the tent. Maybe we'll bring him around the area. Maybe we'll have live shows again. So, but anyway, we can still do our part right now by shedding light on the local scene. And so this is our first step towards it. We're going to have an emerging artist each week, which is I came from Breaking Underground. So if you check out Breaking Underground, you see the old videos of how we did that, kind of the format. So I'll show you a little bit of that. But if you're interested in being an emerging artist, or you want to submit your music for the show, that's how you do it right there. Email your submissions to jiltedloverpublishing@gmail.com, or you can DM me. I'm going to be on live after the show so we can talk about it. I want your feedback and everything. So when this goes on YouTube and a bunch of people give me thumbs down because I'm over here clacking away on the computer and can't get the sound to go off. Anyway, but yeah, So we're going to do that. These are also some of my Tally faves I want to give a shout out to. Our Cat Family Records here in town. It has a plethora of artists like Bandana it's amazing. You've got 89.7 and 101.5. The X are two radio stations around that play locals. Paco over at 101.5 is a great guy. Does really trying to get the commercial radio back on the wavelength here in Tallahassee. So the idea originally was to do this show immediately after he does his locals, only on Monday. We ran into technical difficulties. I digress. Also, good shout out to Defy the Tyrant, to Your Captain Speaking. These guys are just awesome dudes. You're going to love their music. I hope I'm turning you on to them all because they're all sweethearts. Nah, they're not all sweethearts. Like Tristan, no way. He's not a sweetheart. Never mind. But you got Gasoline Alley recording studio over there with their drummer Kyle, actually, and Jerry Gaskins from that. Then you've got my homeboy and awesome guy, Corey Johnson. Not to be confused with Colby Dean Johnson. Two different guys. Over here in the top right-hand corner, under the Naked Animals, you can see his studio. It's Alchemy Sound Studios. And just don't forget Cowhouse Productions in Gibby, who is responsible for introducing me to my wife. So, I mean, I can't not shout him out over there. But for our last little setup here, as we're going to go, I'm going to leave you guys with the new video that we did. Some weeks I'll do a song, some weeks I won't, but I'm going to come back on after this tonight, and I'm going to talk to you guys. We got several people, looks like, yeah, we got 5 or 6 around there now, that one, okay. Anyway, but I'm going to talk to you guys, get some feedback. I appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. I hope it gave you a little entertainment. Remember to stay home, stay safe. If you want to be a donor, that's our information at the bottom. If you want to submit us music, joltedloverpublishing@gmail.com. If you want to stream our stuff, you can do that. There's merchandise. We got the whole Schmergesburg going on. So, this music video, I've been putting it up on our regular site and all. We just got this, our first animated music video, and it seems to be doing pretty well so far. But the song's called "The Machines Inside of Me," and we just released it. There it is. Technology, singularity. The goddamn machines are now a part of me. Get the gasoline. Technology, singularity. The goddamn machines are now a part of me. Get the gasoline. Live what's more than addiction. guys. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. That was our debut, episode 1, done. So, obviously, I wanted for this first episode to essentially, just utilize content and all that I had around to get everything happening. And I'm gonna do more stuff with the live music and a little more focused on the Tallahassee music scene more so than just focusing on my band and all that stuff. I just happen to have permission to give myself to do that. So that's the reason for that. But I definitely want you guys, I hope that the whole point of this is to keep the music scene alive and thriving, to keep you gearheads out there, plugged in with me. I want to have a piece of gear each episode that we talk about and see if that's useful live. And, basically I'm all about your feedback. So anything that you've got that you think you want to discuss, if your band is coming to town, I'm going to do, once local shows are happening again, I'm going to do concert calendars, and we're going to go the whole 9 yards with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and give me some feedback. Let me know, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what ideas you got out there, because you guys know what's best and know what's going to keep you entertained, and I'm happy to do that. So until next time. Do I sing the outro? Is that how I'm going to do that? I don't think I should do that, maybe.